that would be under hue, which is right here. Whoops. Oh, I guess I can't highlight it. Hue is talking about the pigment and actually the name. Under color as well, we've got different color schemes. We've got intensity of a color. We've got color, how it actually symbolizes different feelings or moods. And we have value, how something is shaded as well. So those are the elements of art. And you'll need, one of those items to be able to discuss or even create an artwork. So a lot of times when you're talking about an artwork, you can go in and actually talk about the different colors. Like we can take a look at Starry Night for an example. So here we have Starry Night, and we know it has a color palette of mainly blues and greens, and then we also have yellow. When I talk about a color palette, that means what were the colors the artist used. In Starry Night, we know that it has very thick brush strokes. You can see all of the different brush strokes. This picture is actually a little blurry. Here we go. That create a texture. So if we were able to actually feel Starry Night, you could probably feel the bumps created using the thick paint. Now when we talk about just line in general, they're short, choppy lines. But these short, choppy lines can create a long design or pattern, such as the wind here. It makes us feel like it's swirling in the wind, but it's all made up of these small, choppy lines. Then Van Gogh also changed his direction in his lines throughout the page, or picture, I should say. In the foreground here, we've got this mountain / bush of some sort, and the lines here are somewhat curved, but they go more at a vertical. That helps distinguish between that area and the background sky. If they were going the same direction, it might be a little bit harder to read. Then we've got the glowing stars here, where the brushstrokes actually circle around the stars. So that makes your eye move in a different direction, and it also helps kind of create that feeling of glowing. You can see that there is space here being presented because we've got the large mountain up close in the foreground, and then we've got this small village kind of going backwards. So it's giving us a perspective of depth as well throughout the picture. So just having said those few things, when we talk about art in class and we're going to either have a critique or discuss works of art, it's items like this that you're going to want to pull out of your memory and your vocabulary to use. If I didn't have those things and I just said, oh, well, I think Van Gogh, I like it because it's blue, that's my favorite color, no one's really going to value what I have to say because that does not really back up or support anything I talked about. Versus what I had said prior, talking about actually the lines, colors, forms that were created, space that was shown. So if we take a look back now at this website, and we look at the principles of design, this also is like building blocks to creating a piece of work or talking about it. So we've got the elements of art and the principle of design, and basically what those are our main rules for art and creating something that will work and be valued in our drawings. So we have balance. Balance can be asymmetrical, symmetrical, and radial. And a lot of times it's hard when you're looking at a picture to know if it's balanced or not. I mean, with your eye, You've just got to kind of decide, does one side of the image seem heavier than the other or not? If we take a look at Starry Night again, I guess we could just continue to use this as an example. I was hoping that maybe you see this very heavy, dark mountain over here. This would be an asymmetrical, balanced painting. Symmetrical means if I can fold it in half, it's the exact same on both sides. I can't do that in this case. However, we've got a very dark area over here. So what Van Gogh tried to do to balance that out was create this blue area over here for the dark mountain to kind of offset the mountain over here. Or if we take a look at this painting, you know, this is also asymmetrically balanced. We've got some darker colors going along the horizon, which then is offset by the boat here in the front along with the people. So that kind of helps create a balance within the artwork. Then we have rhythm and movement, which I find can also be difficult to, rhythm itself can kind of be difficult to talk about, but sometimes you'll do where you actually create an artwork just by listening to music, and then you can try and get the rhythm of the music within your artwork. Movement is how your eye is moving throughout the page. Is it more vertical? Is it more horizontal? Is it curving? And a lot of times the artist will create implied lines so that you will look at different parts of the artwork itself. Proportion, we've got different proportions and different scales. One of the hardest things for proportion is drawing the human figure or even the face. It's very difficult. There are a lot of kind of tricks you can use and tips. I think when I was in school I learned that the human body is 8 lengths of a head. So you would hold out your pencil and close one eye and measure on your pencil with your thumb how big the subject's head would be. And then you would just count down 8, and that's kind of how you would know the distance of their body in your artwork. Unity and variety. Is it simplistic? Is there a theme? Is there repetition? So a lot of times in paintings they might change that up. They might want to have a lot of variety. Pattern, creating something over and over.